to us about The Whale. What is The Whale about?
Okay, so The Whale basically is the story of. I mean, I'm sure people that are into the cinema will be pleased about it. So, it's about an really obese character that is like he's like a teacher that does his work online, but he never shows himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a disaster that happened in his life, and he's divorced from his wife, and he's got a teenage daughter. He's got a teenage daughter that he doesn't really see or hasn't really seen for a while, and then she obviously turns up on the scene for whatever reason. So it starts off. He obviously struggles with his weight. You know, he has to move around, and he's obviously not very healthy, and he has these conditions, these heart conditions, and he's got a like a Chinese nurse lady that comes around and sort of helps him out and stuff, but still feeds him. Still, you know, he like has, and there's like a pizza.
Played by Hong Chow.
Hong Chow, yeah, who I recognised from who, to be fair, is absolutely. She's really good.
No, I love Hong Chow. I think Hong Chow is brilliant.
Yeah. I liked her in The Menu as well. But yeah. So she's like a nurse, but she's a sympathetic one. So you know, like, although she sort of says, "Oh, you got to watch it," and that, she's still like making sandwiches and still feeding him because that's what she wants to do. There's like a pizza lad that delivers 2 pizzas every day, and it's only later on that he goes, "Oh, are you okay in there?" and what have you. But you know, he eats like just eats constantly eats, and then is and there's also a dude that's like, he says that he's not a Mormon, but he's part of a, you know, evangelistic. I forget what they call them, like the Love Path or something like that. Which
turns evangelistic sect or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that he was part of, and he sort of says, "Oh, I'm trying to spread the word." So he sort of turns up because he's having the guy's having an episode, and he just happens to turn and knock on the door, and he goes, "Come in," and the religious dude comes in. He goes, "What are you, Mormons or something?" He goes, "No, I'm from," and he says, "Oh, read this," and he gives him a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Says, you know, read that, and then he recovers and stuff. And anyway, and then his daughter comes around, and
okay, sure. Okay, first of all, I can see that you're struggling to actually talk about what happens in this film, and it seems to sort of like tally with what I've heard about this film, which is kind of like, it's one of these films where it's not like there's a major plot pushing it forward. It's not as if, okay, this happens, and because this happens, that happens, and that happens. There's almost like, you know, just
that's it.
Almost like eavesdropping on this guy's life.
Yeah. To me, that's it. Yeah, they sort of drop in, and his daughter, who's been fairly estranged, you know, to me, the supporting cast is really good. I don't know the actress's name. I should have done my research. I know, but
Sadie Sink, I believe it is.
Yeah. I think someone said she might have been in Stranger Things or something. I was talking the other day, but she's absolutely first class as a really stroppy, nasty Tina. Absolutely. And believe it or not, she's called Ellie as well. So, but yeah,
so Sean, how is your daughter?
Totally stroppy, believable. So you've got the nurse, which is believable. You've got the stroppy teenager, which is believable. There's a strange wife pops up later who's semi-believable as an alcoholic. And as I say, you've got this religious dude. So, and the pizza man that you see for just for an instant. Okay, for me now, this was, I think this should have been made for the stage. And in fact, there's a few scenes where I thought, yeah, this is, because it mostly takes place in you know, the room mostly takes place
in his flat, in
the flat, and it's like, oh, I could see that if I was a stage manager and putting the props and where they are and with the tables and the seats where they are, because there's one prime bit where it actually looks like you would have seen it in a theatre where I mean, to pick up on something like that, it's like he's touching the side of the evangelist dude. He's touching the side of a table, and he stood there like staring away, if you like. Well, the chap's rabbit on the background. I thought that's stage. That's like stage. And it reminded me of. I mean, there was another film which I thought was very like a stage play, and that was Fences. Do you remember Fences with Denzel
Yes,
Washington?
Fences it
Yeah,
is an adaptation of a stage play. Yes.
I think I said the same thing there, and it reminded me of that it was very staged. I guess you could say it was a very very staged, and
Yeah.
where people place themselves. It's like, oh yeah, that's where your mark is. That's where everybody was on their marks. But the actual performances were really really good. Although the whale himself,
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser,
who's up for
yeah,
all the awards.
I know. Perhaps there's something wrong with me, Toes, but he was the weakest part. I thought the whole thing. I thought he was the weakest out of. Well, maybe the evangelist dude was probably the weakest, followed by his ex-wife and then himself. But the nurse and the girl were absolutely fabulous. And there is a good. You understand at the end. There is quite a good reveal at the end, which why he's in the condition that he's in. So that's the thing I didn't want to spoil. There is, I mean, the final piece, the final scene is, you can understand why he's called the whale and why he's done what he's done.
All right, cool. So now there is this film. Obviously, we're going to get to the point where we're going to ask you to give what you thought about it. But I found like there's people who said I watched this film and I was crying, it was so thin and everything like that. And there's people who are going bunch of rubbish. I've heard people actually even say, I actually had somebody say what you just said, which is but they said it a bit. They were like, this isn't a film, this is a play that has been filmed. Like somebody just put the camera down and filmed the play. And it's and I've heard all those things. But for you, Sean, how many stars and why?
Okay. Why? Let's just think. I think I'm going to give it a 3-star because I didn't actually, I didn't dislike it. I didn't think it was amazing, but I did like some of the performances. I really, really did like Ellie's performance. The actress who played Ellie, I really liked, and I really did like the nurse. So, on the whole, I would give this a 3-star. This would be a 3-star one, but not amazing, not terrific acting, Oscar worthy. I don't think so. Maybe.
So Brendan doesn't get your vote.
No, Brendan wouldn't get my vote for being the whale.
All right. Okay. So, cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And another one of those films that I just haven't managed to find around here.
Yeah.
I haven't managed to find it.
I wouldn't worry too much.
It's one of those. I have a long list of films that I'm going to be like, yeah, when that shows up on a streaming platform, I guess I will finally see it, because it's not actually showing in the cinemas around me.